Welcome back to Newswatch, everyone. It was a gorgeous day. We're not tracking any rain locally. Here is Debby. It's a tropical storm because it's moved over land, so it lost its source for the heat and moisture. Now the storm is moving off towards the north-northeast. It will emerge out into the Gulf of Mexico, potentially could become a hurricane level 1, category 1, and then make landfall between Charleston and Wilmington later in the week, during the middle part of the week. But it's still bringing plenty of rain to the Carolinas, and this is where the rain is going to stay for the next 2 days. We also have an area of low pressure in the upper Midwest, trailing cold front off to the north and east, so we are sandwiched in between. This heat dome that's settled over the area will be here again tomorrow. We are all in the mid-80s except for Pineville at 91 degrees. Rainfall for the month of August, of course we're just beginning the month, I know, but we are 1/3 of an inch below average, and we need a lot more to make up for the whole summer. It's going to be a gorgeous sunset. Take those photos, send them in. We will have some patchy river fog, temperatures low 60s overnight, 89 degrees tomorrow. Carbon copy of today. That thunderstorm icon is not supposed to be on there. We are not going to have any thunderstorms tomorrow. Here's the latest on Debby. As of 5 o'clock, the winds are 50 miles per hour. Again, it's going to emerge out of the Gulf of Mexico, and then it's going to make a second landfall and then stay along or east of I-95, and by Saturday afternoon be going off the Delmarva coast. In order for us to really benefit from a lot of rain, this storm track has got to be a little bit farther to the west. Analog storms to Debby, I tracked 3 of them, including Bonnie in 2004, which made a similar trajectory up the east coast. These 2 storms back in the late 20s and 40s were too far to the west. So rainfall for us, anything will help at this point, right? 1/2 inch to 1 inch for all of you in the Greenbrier Valley, 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch for most of Route 19, the timing Friday into Saturday. Now, how much do we need to completely get out of a deficit across the region? Anywhere from 3 to 7 inches across the state. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but the eastern West Virginia panhandle will pick up just a little bit more. This is where the extreme to perhaps exceptional drought is, so that will help them out a bit. Now, when we look at historical hurricane rainfall by state, we know the Carolinas are going to get butchered with rain. 23 inches from Florence, 35.9 inches from Florence in the Carolinas. I don't think we're going to see that magnitude of rain. We'll see another 7 inches in that area. But if you're traveling into Virginia tomorrow, Wednesday that is, they're going to see flash flooding even well ahead of the storm. Our aches and pains forecast, the pressure does drop through Friday and then rebounds over the weekend as high pressure builds in. So more aches and pains in those joints. Bottom line is late week rain, but it won't be a drought buster. No sign of 90-degree heat after Tuesday. There's the 7-day forecast in writing. Little tropical storm icon there Friday. Rain ends before daybreak on Saturday, and we are all done. We have a preview to fall, Tigra, this weekend and early next week.
That's really nice. Now with the preview, not the preview, excuse me, with the hurricane icon on Friday, you said we're going to get some rain and then it's going to stop. How much rain are we looking at? Because earlier you mentioned that we need 3 to 7 throughout the whole state. Yeah. But you also said that that's not going to happen.
No.
So how much would we get from this rainfall?
1/4 inch to 1 inch. Not enough.
Not enough. Will it make any positive impact?
It'll make a positive impact in the drought, I think, in the eastern part of the state, eastern panhandle, a little bit.
That's good. That's good news. Now we will talk about the biggest hurricane, not biggest hurricane, but the biggest headline today, Hurricane Debby. After the break, is how could this potentially impact us here in West Virginia?
We'll get enough rain so that we'll stay in the moderate drought. We're a little bit too far west, and we're in the rain shadow effect. Now, this is going to make a much bigger dent in the drought from the I-81 corridor farther east. Matter of fact, it'll probably be completely removed in that area of the Mid-Atlantic. But for us, we are on the western flank, and I don't see a big uptick in rainfall amounts. But at least we'll get 1/4 inch to 1 inch of rain, which will help a little bit.
So the rain that we're going to see Friday, you said that's going to come from Debby potentially.
Yes, and there's also a cold front that's coming south, so the two combined will produce some of our rain. It'll be much more on the east side of the mountains.
All right, now could this become a hurricane again?
It potentially could. It's going to move back over the Atlantic, over the Gulf Stream, which is a warm current. So even though the guidance says that it's a tropical storm, it could easily briefly become a Category 1 hurricane before making landfall along the North Carolina-South Carolina border midweek.
All right, and if we somehow were to get even more rain from Hurricane Debby, would that ease any of the drought, or is our water table too low because of the drought that we've been in? Would it even really impact us that much, or would it just cause more flooding than help?
Yeah, these tropical storms bring very heavy downpours. The heavy downpours would just run off into the creeks and streams and cause flooding. Yes, it would help the drought, but it's not going to help the water table much. It'll just help the creeks and streams briefly.
All right, thank you so much, Chad.